We're on location at MetroHealth Studio to talk about how we often need to manage multiple medications as we mature. And that can be a prescription for problems. Dr. Matt Franz is here with important information on how our pills can affect us as we age. Dr. Franz is in family medicine with MetroHealth. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Now you're calling this polypharmacy.
Polypharmacy is the term.
What does that mean?
Polypharmacy is the taking of 5 or more prescription or non-prescription medications. About 50% of the people over age 65 take 5 or more prescription and or non-prescription medications daily. Up to 15% of these people take 10 prescription medications or combinations daily. So that's what we mean by polypharmacy. Polypharmacy is problematic because it costs about $82 billion a year in healthcare costs. And along with that is probably the 5th leading cause of illness in the United States, according to some studies.
Wow. So is the main concern medication interaction?
Well, a couple different things. The main concern that we have is the multiple medications and how they interact with each other. At this day and age, people don't have medical homes as much as they used to. Everybody had a family doctor and a family pharmacist, and you would go to the same people and everybody knew what you were taking. Now you go to the cardiologist and you get some drug from the cardiologist, and you go to the endocrinologist or the nephrologist, you get a different drug from them, and nobody's really watching the combination of medications that you're getting. Along with that, we have problems with what we call the medication cascade. You go in and you get one prescription drug, and a typical example is a high blood pressure medication called Prinavil. And the Prinavil can cause cough. It's one of the common side effects. Well, if somebody doesn't know that and you go to an urgent care center and you have a cough and they don't know what medications you're taking, all of a sudden you're getting medications for cough. Well, if you're on other medications like Coumadin, that increases your bleeding time, and then all of a sudden you end up in the hospital bleeding from something. So.
Oh man, yeah, I can see where that'd be a big problem. Also playing into all of this, I think, is we change the way we process medications as we age, correct?
Certainly. As we get older, our metabolism changes, our absorption of medication changes. We don't absorb medications the same way we did when we were younger. There's a thing called a first pass effect. When you take a medication, it goes through the liver first. And as we get older, the liver generally doesn't function as well as it did when we were younger. And so those medications maybe have a higher concentration in your bloodstream. Also with that is the way we eliminate medications. It goes through the kidney. Maybe the kidney functions off a little bit. The metabolism's off a little bit. A lot of these drugs are also what we call protein bound, which means as the medication gets into the bloodstream, it hooks up to a protein molecule. Well, if you have, we get older, our protein levels are a little bit less, and so there's more free medication in the system, and so it's an elevated amount of medication.
Okay, so what should we be doing to better manage our medications?
Well, first and foremost, and this is what most people don't do, is a list. You need a list of your medications, and it's surprising how many people know exactly what their percentage of interest is in the bank and mark all these things down, but they have no idea what medications they're taking. They come in, they tell me, I'm taking a blue pill for something, and so a list is good. And the list should include which physician gave it to you, why you're taking the medication, and the amount of medication that you're taking. That's first. And then know that and include supplements. People don't realize that supplements are medications, and they take these supplements. There's a friend of mine told me once that in the absence of information, marketing wins. And so when you read something in a magazine and it says, this medication is going to do all these wonderful things, and we have people that buy this and they take it every day, they never tell their physician. And those compete for binding sites and all those other things. So you want to include supplements, and also make sure you're taking medications for the appropriate reasons. Sometimes you don't need to take the medications anymore. Every year you should get evaluated by your physician, look at the medication list, and decide, do you need that medication going forward? And then there's a thing called deprescribing. And that's when we start to slow down the amount of medications we give to people.
So like wean off of it?
Wean off of it. And we can wean off of certain medications as you get older because you really don't need them. And your physician should be able to help guide you through that. Also, there are a couple criteria, one called the Beers criteria and one called the Stark criteria. The physicians know how to use those to to manage elderly patients.
All right, this is great information for us. Medications can make miraculous improvements in your health, but when you're managing multiple medications, extra precaution is needed. So you may need to make some changes, and change is healthy. Follow Dr. Franz's advice and make a list of everything you are taking and share it with every doctor you see. My thanks to Dr. Franz for joining us today in MetroHealth's studio.
To learn more, call MetroHealth at 216-778-7800 or log on to www.metrohealth.org. Next.